everybody doing? Good. Okay, well, I have to tell you a funny story. Last night I hugged Genevieve and I said, how is it going? You having a good time? And she said, I could do without the mosquitoes and the community. And I thought, that was weird. Community? Is she talking about us? And then it clicked, it was mosquitoes and humidity. So, thankfully, she actually wants to be in our community, so that's a relief. So, yeah. All right, well, I'm super honored to get to be up here hanging out with all of you guys this year. I never, ever take an opportunity like this for granted. This is my favorite part. This is my favorite part of the gig, getting to just hang out with the top level leaders, rub shoulders with you guys. But I actually have to let you in on a secret. And I think sometimes you see people up here and you think we must have all of our ish together. And I just want to let you know that's not actually true. If you showed up in Mayakoba with a little bit of struggle this year, just know you see the end result of massive amounts of struggle for myself. Massive amounts. And I'm not reading the script, I'm so sorry. I don't have my stuff together, okay? That's what I want you to know, because sometimes you get up here and you think, she's so much further than I'll ever be. She's massive amounts of energy and I'll never have that. Or she's massive amounts of success and I'll never have that. You think we must have arrived and have some sort of secret sauce. And so you turn your brain off and you say, I can't actually relate with anything she's going to share. And that's not true. There was just a point in my business where I was extremely unhappy with the results I was getting. Anybody ever been unhappy with the results you're getting? Yeah. And so I just decided something had to change. Momentum had slowed. I felt like some of my team felt tired. And I just decided, you know what? I'm not going to be a sluggish team. I'm not going to have a sluggish team. So I had to make a decision to stop looking to the left and to the right or to that leader or that leader. And I decided that I had to get real with myself. What had I done that could have caused this? And it didn't take me long to realize that I had made the same mistake again, of slipping right into management mode. I realized that it was way more fun working with my existing team, hyping up my existing team, incentivizing my existing team, digging in or even dragging my existing team, than it was to continue to get uncomfortable with myself, with my own prospects, my own reach outs, my own personal business. It was way more fun to create trainings and lead trainings and be at events with my existing team than it was for me to have to connect one-on-one and invite that new potential to lunch or invite that new girl to take a look at my opportunity. I had stopped paying myself first because I loved being a leader and feeling like I was being a leader. But guys, there's a reason that the airlines always tell you to put on your own oxygen mask first before you assist somebody else. I had been neglecting the key drivers in my business that I knew was going to move my business forward. And what my business needed was a shock of energy. You guys know those like heart paddles that doctors use? I'm sure they're called something professional. But they like yell clear and then nobody touches anything. What happens if you touch? I just need to know. Like, if you don't move your hand, do you get shocked?
Yes.
Sure. All right, so that's why they all do that. I'm always curious. I always want to do like what they say not to do. Like, don't stand here. It's like. But that is really what I wanted to happen in my business. I just wanted, like, I was willing to be the energy if I could just figure out how to shock my team back into focus and clarity. And I decided that I had to create it. I had to create it for myself so that then I could give it to them. I think this last leaders retreat probably brought a lot of clarity to a lot of people and a lot of awareness to maybe some areas we had been neglecting in our own business as leaders. I know that there was some fear around the contest and that for the first time some of us didn't hit the marks we had always been hitting, right? But let me offer a little different perspective here. It's okay, and it's exactly what can propel us forward, knowing what we know now. Knowledge allows you to make change. So is it unfortunate and sometimes uncomfortable to have that exposure in your business? Yeah, it's uncomfortable, but it's gonna be exactly what will allow you to change and move into this next contest even stronger. So, newsflash for myself, maybe for you guys. We have to focus on creating new upper level growth. You have to do that. We have to be willing to do what these new business builders are asked to do. We have to create new upper level growth. If you started making changes during the cruise contest, I think a lot of people realized some gaps and they started making some changes, but then the contest ended. And the tendency is to think, those changes must not have worked. I didn't earn the trip, or I didn't earn the shopping spree, I didn't earn whatever. But guys, listen, it takes about 90 days to start seeing turnarounds of some of those changes, and sometimes even longer. So now we can take advantage of the opportunity that we have a head start in this contest. Knowing what we know now with the changes that we made, we have a head start. So here is how I did it. They asked me to share how growing my personal business helped me to win the Leaders Retreat contest on both accounts. So that's what we're gonna talk about. We know that building your personal business is supposed to be the number one priority, yet it very rarely is our number one priority. And I know why. You sit down to work and you open Messenger. You're gonna work your own personal business, but there's 942 problems waiting in your Messenger. It feels like a lot of fires you gotta go put out. And so in conversation with Brittany yesterday, she's like, what do you do with those 942 problems? I say, I leave them until I have paid myself first. You're just gonna have to leave them. It's not that I don't have 942 team messages and problems I could solve and people that I desperately wanna help move forward. I do have them. And because I have them, I'm willing to let that sit so that I can pay myself first and figure out what's working, what's not working, what needs to change, so that when I show up over here to solve their problems, I can solve it from a place of experience. So it's not that I don't have the team demands, it's just that I'm willing to let them sit. They're not the first priority. And let me say something else about that. Guys, when you put boundaries over your effort, energy, and time, you free your team to put boundaries over theirs. Some of the hardest lessons I have learned as a leader around boundaries have been on the receiving end of boundaries. Like there will be a necessary boundary and it will feel painful. But what it always does is allows me the freedom to then go put boundaries on something else. It frees me up to lead. And you have to be willing to do that for your team. If you're not prioritizing your personal business, you're going to duplicate that down. Okay, I was allowing distractions from building my personal business because I was avoiding feelings that I did not want to feel. You know, if you avoid action, it's usually because you want to avoid the feeling that comes with it. Learn that from someone smart. Discomfort, fear, rejection. Nobody actually enjoys feeling those things. I think people think I do. They're like, you just don't even care how you feel. No, I have those feelings. I just hate the feeling of being controlled by them worse than I do the actual feeling. So partnering with my existing team allowed me to feel the feelings we all want to feel. Productive and useful and like a leader. So I had to decide that the feeling of the dissatisfaction of staying where I was going to be worse than any discomfort moving forward. I knew that I had to lead from the front. So I became willing to grow and change. So the number one question was, why was building your personal business a good strategy? Well, because it has allowed me to spot leaky gaps. Like I call it leaky roofs. And the thing with leaky roofs is if you never look up at the roof, you don't see it just starts with a little water spot, right? And then it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger until eventually the whole freaking thing caves in. But when I focused on my personal business, I was like, oh, interesting, that's a gap. People don't know how to follow up about the business. Interesting, how do I fix that? So it allowed me to spot these things. It allowed me to realize that we had missing systems and missing processes. And I learned that if something feels cloudy or confusing to me, it most certainly feels cloudy and confusing to my team. So I had to take the time to figure that out. All right. I think moving into this contest, it's time for us to take our business by the reins and stop waiting for your downlines to go do what maybe we aren't even willing to do ourselves. You guys, perhaps it's time that we decide to get brilliant at the basics. That's not just a corporate charge, it's our charge. We have to be willing to get brilliant at the basics. There's nobody more poised to pull your entire team out of the quicksand than someone who has just figured out how to get out of the quicksand themselves. So get yourself up out of that quicksand. And it starts with you having the belief that you can change. All right, so here's the thing. There's two words that when you think them in your brain stops, it stops taking any ownership or responsibility. And it's the words, if only. If only my upline would. If only my downline would. Heaven forbid, if only corporate would. And it just pushes every ounce of ownership and blame onto someone else. But instead, we've got to develop a solution-oriented focus. What could I? What could I do in this situation? What could be the next possible thing that could work if I have to focus on level 1s and level 2s? What could be the solution? Guys, listen, people do still want to do this with you. They do. They do still want to do hard things. And here's how I know. I proved it to myself. I made it my mission for the last Leaders Retreat contest that I was going to be in the top 25% of predicted jewel earners to earn the trip, and that I would earn it on both accounts. Because I knew if I forced myself to do it, I would learn so many things that would help my team. I knew it would require me to get brilliant at the targets being rewarded, first 3 pillars, recruiting, retaining, and creating new level 1 workers. So I went back to people who had been telling me no for over a year about the business. And instead of dangling the business opportunity in front of them, I just simply said, hey, listen, I know you don't want to build a massive business, and that's totally fine. But I think you should come earn this cruise with me. It's designed for brand new people just like you. What are your thoughts on earning this trip for you and your husband? It's a 4-month contest, and I will be the best dang cruise coach you can imagine. And guess what? The girl who had said no for over a year to the business opportunity said, I do want to earn a cruise. She earned it in less than 3 months as a new Fast Start Gold, and now wants to be at 90. Guys, I have the same comp plan you have. I have the same products you have. I have the same company you have. I have the same mindset crap you have. I just am willing to do it anyways. I knew that I would have to step up my recruiting game, so I decided to get curious about how I could do that. Remember, instead of thinking, if only I was a better recruiter, or if only I was an influencer, I don't even know how to spell Instagram, you guys. Instead, I thought, what could I do to get better at recruiting? Do I need to master a new marketing skill? Do I need to spend more time doing reach outs? Do I need to get back to doing in-person events and sip and sees? I was looking for solutions, found several options, and decided to do it all. Every single one. Every single option, I just decided to do it. I increased the number of people that I was sharing with every day. I increased the number of people that I invited to come see an opportunity. I got uncomfortable again and got on the phone to troubleshoot products, because keeping them is just as important as getting them. It's just a little less sexy. It's okay. I was willing to do that. I sent handwritten cards, and I have the worst handwriting, to new customers to thank them for ordering with me. I took strangers to lunch. It's the most awkward, but it works. It works. So over the course of the contest, I earned over 6,000 credits between my 2 accounts. I saw a 300-point growth on my main account and a 240-point growth on my reentry account. And I think that's so important because it's never been about the trips. The trips are just little carrots along the way. It's always been about long-term, overall sustained growth. But it doesn't mean we can't have a little fun with the trips in the meantime. How did I do that? Well, one big way was that I enrolled 38 people in the contest. That's about 9 enrollments per month on average. And listen, I know folks who are enrolling 30 a month. So 9, we can figure that out. How could I increase my enrollments? That's what your brain should be thinking. How could I? Not if only. When I looked at the credits, 30% of my credits came from enrollments. I helped 6 brand new level 1s get started and rank up. And I know you guys are thinking, yeah, but what about your existing team? Did that mean you just left them on their own? Absolutely not. I had over 40 people earn the contest with me, So I didn't leave them. I just showed them the way. Remember how I talked about being hyper-focused on how to get people to catch the vision, get off to a strong start, and get results by providing feedback? That's what allowed me to spot opportunities of growth for my entire team. They all got better because of what I decided to do. 55% of credits came from retention. When you're leading by an example, guys, you're an inspiration to your team. People worry like, oh my gosh, what if they're not willing to do what I'm willing to do? They are. They are if they believe it's going to be worth it. When I'm right there with my team, experiencing the same things they are, experiencing the same objections, the same rejection, the same whatever, I can give better feedback, better support, and I can continue to help them grow. I already told you guys, 21 people on my team earned the cruise with a guest, and another 20-something earned it with a buddy pass. My team retention, I hate this stat, 65% was my retention rate during the contest. Listen, we're working on it. Remember I told you spot those leaky gaps? We're gonna get that 65% up. We have systems coming. Okay, here's what we did not do, you guys. We did not do a crazy amount of incentives. We did not do discounts or reimbursements on products. We didn't buy people stuff for them. What we did do, though, was cast vision for why this is a long-term strategy for their business and for their lives. The trip is just an added bonus. When they're making diamond, pay. When they're making EVA money, they can afford to buy all the trips. They can buy all the cruises. They can take their whole family if they want. So I kept the focus there long-term. People are willing to do hard work. You know how I know? People enroll in Harvard every day. They become rocket scientists. They climb Mount Everest. That's hard, and people are willing to do it because they believe it will be worth it. Think about what would happen in this contest if you decided today to help someone go fast start gold in September. Remember, we're not thinking if only. We're thinking, how could I? That's what I did. And you can start right now. Seriously, start making connections while you're here. Here's something you can say. And I will say this. I will say this to 50 people on this trip. Hey, Sally, I'm here in beautiful Mayakoba. You're on my mind. I know we have, or haven't, chatted about this business opportunity before, and you weren't super interested in that. But I have something I wanted to run past you. We just launched an incentive trip to an all-inclusive resort in Punta Cana, and it's designed to be earned by someone brand new like you. While I know you might not want to build a super biz with me, thought you might be open to earning the trip with you and your honey. I've got a very simple system to follow, and I'd be beside you every step of the way. Not only would you earn the cruise, but you'd pocket close to $1,700. What do you think? Get on their level, y'all, and meet them where they are. Just don't let them stay there. Cast big vision, but first, possess big vision. There's plenty of time for you to make an example of yourself in this contest. Go find 1 or 2 new people and help them earn a trip of a lifetime. Be their all-inclusive coach for the next 4 months and watch the magic happen on your team. Y'all, it's just a skill set that can be mastered. Share the opportunity with every single person who orders products from you. Expect them to have objections surrounding it and be excited to help them overcome it. Cast vision for what's possible and then get them off to a strong start. Yeah, I think Brittany and I have trained on this topic a million times at this point. If you were at convention, it's literally in the app. Create business builders. Get good at it and then repeat it over and over and over. Determined to create 1 new level 1 silver every month of the contest, and determined to help at least one of them go gold. That's exactly what I did to earn those credits. Link arms with every person who's working and cast vision for them to do the same thing, and then let them work. Imagine the energy on your team, you guys, if you made that your mission. So proud to be among you guys here. I'm honored and excited for where we're headed, and I have high belief that we are just getting started. So, to give us more motivation as we finish out the rest of the year, let's hear about the holiday launches from Chief Marketing Officer Michael D'Arminio.